Two. No, it's still the same. We're
5,
live though.
4,
We are live.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so tell me why this original ketchup thing just caught me off
I
guard.
know.
What?
Same thing for me, Sandy. I read it today for the first time. I was like, "What the world?" I was like, "You give one guy the ability to put whatever he wants on Instagram, and then you get this kind of stuff."
I'm telling you,
I
right?
was
I
super
love.
intrigued by it. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
And so before anybody asks, I'm not sick. I was going for the nude lip color.
Say that again.
The nude lip.
Oh,
The new.
So the
because
further
usually
back
she
I
goes
go, it looks kind of like a pale pilgrim child. Like I got sick on the Mayflower or something.
oh, I see that. You're all shiny.
I'm a little colonial boy.
You're flossing.
Well, I don't know about all that.
For
I'm
some
something.
nutritional
Anyway, how are you guys?
wellness information.
Are you asking us or are you asking our viewers?
I'm asking the viewers.
Okay, hey everyone. Hope y'all have had a good day. What she said.
Hello.
Oh,
everybody.
I've got so many things to share, but I'm not going to be able to share them today because it's not Monday.
Okay.
We can't squeeze it in.
I guess we could. Can we?
Way to build up there. And
Like,
then,
I'm gonna give you 2 minutes.
yeah,
Oh my gosh,
so
I've
go.
got so much to do. Okay, so guess what happened to me today? My email came off and said, "Guess what's in store again?"
You got a Blackstone.
I got the Blackstone.
Sweet.
Because our Walmart, I can't remember what day, had like 5 of them.
Are you serious?
Serious.
So, it was July 1st actually. That's when it was. That's when I had it, and I told my wife. I said, "Dr. Pineapples, they're back in stock." But hours later, she responded back, and she was like, "Where? Send me the link, hurry!" And I went on. I was like, "Never mind."
You're like, thanks for the quick response. I appreciate that.
I know it's not like you were busy helping people save their lives or stuff like that.
Right.
No, but
Yeah.
I just saw that they were in stock, and since I hadn't received my Father's Day present, I thought it'd be a quicker response than that. But
Yeah. So we had talked. So we talked before, and she was like, "If you see it again, just get it." And I was like, "Okay." So then my email, and it was so cool because I was looking at my email, and then all of a sudden, ding, Google said you got mail, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I cut the picture, sent it to her, went on Walmart, and clicked on that bad boy, and I was like, 2 years protection on it, yes. So it's being delivered next Thursday.
Okay,
I'm so
awesome.
excited.
So did you get the accessories with it?
No, so I'm going to work on that tonight, or from now to then I'll get the cover and that.
That's pretty good then, because I just checked my Walmart and they're out of stock.
Wow.
Just like,
it's crazy.
So it is crazy.
It
But
is. Hello, B.
Look at that.
She
Good
calls
evening,
us Peps.
Peps.
Why are we Peps?
I don't know. I tried to ask her about that the other day. She said it was intentional, and I was like, okay.
She came up with some nonsense answer.
I forgot what it was.
What did she say? She was like, no, I meant that.
That's how we say it in Florida.
Florida.
Bienvenidos.
In Florida.
So, how was your day today, Joe?
So, listen to this, y'all. Listen. So, I go to the office. We won't say what time because y'all know what time I went. But anyways, I go to the office. Okay, you're right. And so we have a new DVR, which is like a security system at my office. And so I only had 2 cameras. And I'd ordered 2 more cameras. And I was like, I wonder if I can get one of those in today. And so I actually got one installed. And then I was like, but we have 4 spots on the DVR. And I have this extra camera. So I got motivated and installed the 4th camera. And the cool thing about that, I was going up and down the ladder pretty much the whole time I was there.
I don't miss those days.
Yeah, so I was like, got it mounted, make sure it's working with my app on my phone and stuff like that. And then I had a photo shoot because I was trying to get a photo shoot in for a young lady because she was needing some pictures to send to her talent agency. So I was like, I'll squeeze that in. And then I got that squeezed in, and I get home, eat some pizza, play some video games with Jet, take a nap. Hashtag nap together 6 foot apart.
I knew you were gonna
And
say that.
it was so awesome, the nap. And I was asleep on the couch and just like hugging pillows. And man, I'm telling you,
Really?
it was so refreshing to have a nap. I was, yeah. So that's my day. It was awesome.
How about you, Sandy?
Well, if any day could have been a day from the Twilight Zone, today was it.
No.
Yes.
No.
So I checked my email very first thing when I woke up this morning, and I had an email from American Express. It says, have you made your payment? Oh, my Lord. Eric, will you put him out? So anyway, it says, had you made your payment? And y'all, I swear I went on there, scheduled my payment, says your payment's been scheduled. Nothing.
What?
And I'm late on my payment. I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm never late on anything. I mean, I'm late to lots of things, but never on my payments.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get on there because they have a chat 24/7. And Mac was on the other line.
Come on, Mac.
Come on.
Mac was a
Big Mac.
complete jerk.
Oh.
I'm like, Mac, I know that I scheduled it. Can you look at it for me? I mean, I'm never late. Can you? Mac proceeds to tell me, he said, how exactly can I help you? And I'm like, can I get the late fee waived? He's like, let me check. And I could just hear him over there like, and then he said, the late fee waiver declined, and it could be because of your credit worthiness. And I'm like, my credit worthiness? Like, now you're calling.
Hashtag John Matthews.
Oh, I know. I've told him that before. It was bad. Anyway, so that started. And then I had just some random little people that I just thought, Fish, why are you calling me today? Because today was not a good day.
Today was not a good day.
But anyway, so Eric made us wings and homemade fries. And
did y'all use your air fryer thing?
Yes.
Thing?
Yes. I didn't. Eric did.
Yeah.
Did he record it?
We're not doing Food Fridays anymore.
Oh, we can still throw it in. Throw it in.
Well, I took a picture. Right. We didn't record it, but I did take a picture. But anyway, so yeah, today was just kind of one of those days where it just, I just started out on the wrong foot.
Did you speak to Mac's supervisor? That's what
I didn't, but I did leave Mac. If I could have left Max a 0-star rating, I would have. Like, really? Like, look at my history. I mean,
right.
Like I pile on my little stuff that I buy, and then I just pay it off. Like, I just don't be not paying my stuff.
Right.
But yeah,
Mac
did not give a damn.
Language.
That it was 6:30 in the morning.
He was like this.
Those are good, Sandy. He made those. Were those frozen or were those fresh cut and everything?
Those were fresh. Like, he cut those papas up.
Nice.
Man, I love me a fresh papa.
You just need some Creole seasoning on top of that. That'd be good.
Well, I don't know what seasoning you put on it, but it was really good. Oh, he said Lowry's. He put
Lowry. Michael Lowry. My name is Mike Lowry.
And so
that's legit.
Honey barbecue and
Garlic parmesan. Oh,
lemon pepper. I forget lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper. Is he like that lemon pepper, or is that you?
It's both of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Kate is more the honey barbecue kid.
Lemon pepper is like the dry rub. Like, this is just like
sometimes
toss it
the
in.
dry rub isn't too bad.
I like the lemon pepper.
At the famous Wild Wing spot, they have that dry desert heat rub. Man, that's sweet. It's good though.
Oh, and guess what? So I was gonna watch. Actually, I sat down to watch an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, and I took a nap during the mystery.
Oh, look at y'all!
Hashtag nap together 6 foot apart.
I know.
Say that, Sandy. You knew he was gonna say that.
Well, I woke up and I was like, Eric, did they find her? Because it was a woman that had gone missing.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yes. I said, did they rape her? And he's like, Well, they found her like 600 days later. It was like she was skeleton. I'm like, oh. So now I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, you are.
But anyway, so I'm loving Unsolved Mysteries, y'all, on Netflix.
I got to get started still.
I guess I need to look at it or something. I guess.
What was the original guy's name?
Robert.
Yeah, that
Robert
guy.
something. Remember because he was on Caddyshack.
I can't think of his name. Anyway, so there's a cameo. They do like the silhouette of him.
Oh, and his trench coat.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of creepy. I'm like,
they're like, we didn't put that in there.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah.
Who do we have on the show today?
Guys, I'm really excited to bring you out who we have tonight. We have got an exciting guest. To me, definitely has a special place in my heart. I'm not gonna lie, just preface it right now that this is my cousin who's down in Texas, and she is. Well, I'm gonna just read her bio real quick for y'all. But remember, we were talking about doing the 7 dimensions of wellness. We had Jay back on at the beginning, who gave us the physical dimension of wellness. I brought Jewel on because I wanted to see if she could talk about the nutritional side of the physical dimension of wellness. So let me just read this. It says, Jewel Gobea is a nutritionist and health educator from Fort Worth, Texas. She specializes in nutrition for obesity, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, metabolic syndrome, and I'm sorry, Julie, you're going to help me out that one. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Nutrition and Wellness from Texas Women's University and Health Education certificate from Stanford University. Jewel has helped hundreds of individuals lose weight and maintain it through a nutrition education program titled Sustainable Nutrition. The program helps individuals build nutrition plans that fit their lifestyle, food preferences, and health goals. Jewel's nutrition guidance and wellness is wellness driven and whole body centered. It's all about learning how to do food for your individual life and the crazy changes that happen in the midst of the journey. So, guys, I really hope you come with your questions because I'm excited to have her on. So if you would all help me welcome Jewel Gobea.
Yay! Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on with you guys. I'm Jewel. I'm a nutritionist, like you were saying. And yeah, I specialize in creating lifestyle changes for everyone I work with. Most of the people I work with have. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm in Texas and I'm getting an Amber Alert. Hold up.
Important. Make sure.
Okay. God, they keep going off today. Anyways,
so far.
Oh, yes, I know. Anyway, so most of my clients that I work with are in the scope of something called metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is where you have excessive insulin production. Insulin is a hormone that is produced by your pancreas, and you can produce more of it naturally from genetics and different things and lifestyle and different things like that. And whenever you have this going on, you can struggle with your weight, you can get fatty liver disease, you can gain a lot of weight in the central area of your body and have cardiovascular disease and a bunch of different things. And that's what I specialize in helping people figure out how to change their food to help with these conditions, which ends up being a lot about wellness. It's way more than just like eat this, not that. And so that's kind of what I've always been into and I specialize in because I want to help people learn how to eat for their life, which we all like. If you think about it, you guys just talked about what's going on with your days and you all had different days. Everyone ran into a different thing today, and that's your lifestyle. And whatever happened, like the Mac situation, probably made you want to dive into some Oreos or a bag of chips.
Actually, I was like, I'm going to drink today.
Okay. Or you're just like alcohol, for sure. And so whatever happens in your day usually ends up kind of knocking into different areas of your wellness, and you end up eating or drinking or doing shopping or different behaviors that help you cope with a lot of things that go on in our lives. And so when I went to study nutrition, I wanted to study how to help people change the behaviors. And so that's why I really focused in wellness. And so I'm so excited to talk to you guys about wellness and your physical health and how nutrition plays a big part in all of it. And it's very all like it's just tied together. So it's going to be a fun conversation. So I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate that. I was looking at your website, and so I did see some. Like, first off, her website's pretty slick, guys. Let me just show
Is
you.
it?
Yeah.
Thank
Hold on
you.
one second. We're gonna make sure we put this website in the comments so that way you guys can get to and see her. But there's her. But then she's got some nice things. When I see that stuff on there, I'm like, I could eat that. I could eat that. But here's some of the, well, like you titled, weight loss stories right here. I'm like, I see this fella right here.
Mm-hmm.
You helped that guy out. Like, wow.
I know, he's amazing.
Wow. I mean, that's some serious, when I see that, I'm like, that's some serious business here. So there's people who have obviously gotten into some serious decision makings and have gotten to a place where they feel comfortable enough that you've helped them out pretty, yeah.
Mm. So my major food groups are cheeseburgers, pizza, and Kit Kats. So you're gonna have to help me with that. And I'm allergic to vegetables, and I don't like exercise. So
And shellfish.
we'll see. Yeah,
And
and
he's
I'm
allergic to shellfish.
I'm allergic to shrimp. I'm allergic to bananas. I'm allergic to good food. So yeah.
Good luck, Jewel.
Oh my goodness.
So we
Has
brought
it
you
been
on the show
looked after
specifically
you?
for Joe.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need the most help. So you could just ignore these other two because and so I'm the one that really needs the help. So I just want to let you know that. So right now.
So you've got
Oh my
someone
God.
right here who's giving you their profile as is right now. How do you help someone like Joe? If you say it's impossible, I can totally understand.
Right.
Well,
He's
it's
difficult.
totally possible, and but it definitely is challenging. So whenever I have someone that I meet with right now, I'm meeting everyone online, and so when I meet anyone online, and they're like, "This is what I say." Okay, tell me about your health goals and what do you want to achieve, and then like now let me hear what you eat every day.
So my health goals. Let me tell you my health goals.
Okay.
I don't have any.
Oh,
Okay.
Wait.
We're gonna
I called the wrong number. I'm sorry.
he thought he was calling the pizza joint.
I thought I was calling the pizza delivery place, but
really hold up. This isn't Pizza Hut. What?
Yeah.
exactly.
But so I look at, for example, Sandy actually has a pretty interesting, what would we say?
Lifestyle change.
Okay, thank you.
Diet.
She has
Diet is such an ugly word, isn't it, Joel?
it.
It's an ugly word, yes. A lifestyle change is way better, but we're all very like accustomed to saying diet. So, nobody means anything mean by saying diet. It's definitely one of those funny words, though.
So I hear Sandy's all the time, and she gets me every time she says it. So Sandy, what you say?
So as a family, we are all gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free.
And
So
fun-free.
We have no fun whatsoever. No. So I tell my son, he's 14, and I'm like, okay, don't tell people you're on a diet because he's already a noodle, and we don't need people to be like, oh, you're on a diet? Like, how dare your parents have you on that?
Yeah.
But so the reason we went on it was for him, for his health.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I have a lot of pediatrics that have to be on specific diets like that for focus in school, for inflammation, for just, digestion. And so whenever you're introducing me, you were talking about the gastroenterology. That's a big word to say, so don't feel bad that it's called like gastroenterology.
No,
But I have
don't give him an out, Jewel. He is a wordsmith. He tells everybody he's the wordsmith.
He's a Toastmaster.
Right, so he should be able to like pull those words out just like that.
Oh my God.
Continue on, Joe. I'm sorry he so rudely interrupted you.
Anyways, I have had a lot of pediatric patients in the GI field. GI is easier, right? We'll say GI.
Okay, I'm down with that.
GI clinic with that need to follow, I would say lifestyle change nutrition plan that is gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free. And those are pro-inflammatory foods, all of those. And so inflammation we can have internal inflammation and not even know it. And that's where your body is almost like throbbing. Like you put, like imagine that you slam your hand in a door and you can feel the throb in your hand. But sometimes we have inflammation in our body, and especially in our GI tract, and we don't even know. And then the GI tract is completely connected to your brain, and so they talk to each other. And so if you have inflammation in your gastrointestinal system, then you're definitely having something happen with your psychology and the way that your body reacts. And it's just crazy with the brain and how it works. And it's underdeveloped. There's not a lot of like studies that are done perfectly yet for this specific area, but so yeah, that's normal that, you know, you have to follow that type of plan. And that's so awesome that you guys are all doing it together. It makes it so much easier.
It does, because it was going to seem like a punishment, because we were just like, okay, we have to do everything for him. And then I thought, you know what, it's going to be awful, and he's not going to be successful because he's going to be wanting to eat whatever it is that we eat. So that's why we're just like, we'll just all do it. And we didn't expect anything when we went on it. And you know, you're talking about the inflammation on the inside. Well, he's asthmatic, and so his bronchioles were so inflamed. And I'm not sure what the numbers are, but so the inflammation in his bronchioles, his doctor would be like, it has to be at a 25, and Cade was always like in a 300. So every time we went to the doctor, she was like, Cade, you're on the verge of death. And so, you know, it was always one of those appointments where like it was funny, but it wasn't that funny. And so now that we're on this, his inflammation has gone down to where we're not on meds anymore. We're no longer on allergy shots. And so because of this, he's seen all the changes and stuff. So he's like, Mom, I'm on this for life, because he knows, you know, just how bad all of that impacts him. So yeah, we don't see that inflammation on the inside, like you said.
That's awesome.
Amazing. That's so cool.
You're such an awesome parent, Sandy.
Well,
she's like, on the food part.
Right.
So Jewel, tell us, what are the kind of, let's be honest, what are some, I know you kind of mentioned the patients on there, but what are some of the real life scenarios that people who come to you, like, what's their situations?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I would say the number one situation I have right now is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And that's what I've really spent a lot of years focusing on. And that's an epidemic in our country. So what that is basically, you know about cirrhosis of the liver, right? A lot of people know that our liver can become cirrhotic, and basically we won't have a liver and need a liver transplant from drinking too much alcohol. The same thing can happen to your liver from food, and no one knows this, and so it's a scary thing. And so your liver can become fatty from the type of foods that you eat, and then over time it can become cirrhotic, and you could have never had a sip of alcohol in your life, and then you're needing a liver transplant. And so so this all has to do with diet. And so I've had a lot of my patient cases with this, and all of that is sugar related. And
it's what related?
Sugar related.
Sugar.
And and so sugar and carbohydrates, which are actually the same thing. Carbohydrates and sugars are a type of carbohydrate. There are a lot of types of carbohydrates. There's glucose, which is the number one form of carbohydrate. There's fructose, which is like the fruit sugar. There's sucrose, which is like the table sugar in candy. And then there's lactose, which is like the dairy form. And then there's fiber. So we've got all these different types of carbohydrates. They all make our blood sugar go up. And when the blood sugar goes up, we can start to have a lot of blood or sugar in our bloodstream. And then the sugar, it has to go somewhere. We can't have too much sugar in our bloodstream. And so when it goes somewhere, it's always going to go to your liver, your fat cell, your liver cells, your fat cells, and your muscle cells as its first three stops. And so some people just get a lot of it to the liver, and the liver starts gaining weight. And then over time, it turns cirrhotic. And so that's a major case I have. And then whenever, you know, that's the condition, and that's a completely different story. That's like the medical part of it. But then you got to have like the human part, and what's going on in these people's lives. Why are they having so many carbs? Right. You know, like what's going on? Like, why are they having so much sugar and carbs? And so, so normally I have individuals that come in that are about 45 and male or female, mostly have children, and are just run down, totally run down, and they're exhausted, chronically sleep deprived. and they are just coping with, what's going on in their life with food. And so, we'll talk about what's going on in their day to day. And they're like, I wake up at 6 a.m., get the kids ready. I got to get ready for work. We're all getting ready. We just grab food on the way because it's easier and it makes everyone happy. So they're grabbing food on the way. And that's going to be something, that's fast food. And so that's going to be very high in carbohydrate and very lots of fat. And so it's just a very like high calorie, not nutrient dense type of food. And so they're grabbing food to go. Then there's just, going throughout the day, stressors, right? You're like, okay, we're doing so good today, you guys. We're all in the car at the right time. But then you run into traffic. And then you're just like, really? Like on top, we were doing so good. You're in traffic. And then you're like, I'm supposed to be eating well today, but this traffic made me so upset. Now I'm going to choose this to eat or this to drink. I'm going by Starbucks for sure today. And I'm getting a Frappuccino. I need it. And so then you go throughout the day and just more things come into play. Food is a very culture-centered thing. And so whenever you have people in your life that are eating, they want you to eat with them. And so throughout the day, you've got these stressors, and then you've got this culture of food. And then we have advertisements of food all day, every day in our eyes and even ears. And so they're all just kind of struggling with having those barriers all day. And then, they're sleep deprived, which makes you want to eat more. When you're tired and you don't get any rest, you want to end up eating more because your body's in a state of fight or flight. And so when your body's in that state, what will happen is all of our cells in our body say, oh my God, we have to survive right now. How are we going to survive? Well, your body thinks it needs to run from something or it needs to fight back something, which are both physically enduring actions. So then we start to hunt for food to fuel up for the fight or the run. And so we start eating calorie and carb dense foods, and that's going to help us fuel up. But then we usually feel guilty for eating it, which makes us want to eat more of it and say, I'm not going to eat more of it for the rest of the day.
I have never ran into that situation.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's just crazy talk.
So I appreciate that. So what I gleaned from what you're saying, for me at least, is like, and I remember when I used to be heavy in this, so the whole everybody in the car, let's just grab something to go, whatnot. But I will admit, in these later years, my daughters are a little bit older, but I have a 10 and a 12-year-old, and I try to be super religious about cooking at home. For example, at night at dinners, I try to do that. Now I do splurge twice a week. The goal is we get to eat out twice a week, so it'll be pizza one night, and then another night I might just bring what does everyone want. But for the most part, I do try to have more dinners I'm cooking at home. And so the challenge I'm having right now is nobody wants to eat vegetables, so they're all being influenced by this guy somehow.
That Uncle Joe Schmo.
Veggies are the devil.
They like vegetables. They're just not eating them.
Yeah.
So veggies. That's the scenario that I run into. I think that, I don't run into anyone that doesn't have that going on in their life. And so what we end up doing is discussing, I put them on the plan that I help get them off of sugar for a week. This is a plan that I've created called Palate Reset, and it's literally to change your taste buds.
You can do that? You can force your taste buds to change?
You can. Yeah, they are. I
knew they change like every 10 years.
What is this witch doctor stuff she is talking about?
Now I'm like super interested now, because this may be the answer.
Because he was just kind of interested earlier, so.
No. I mean, thanks, Joe.
Oh, my bad.
So our taste buds are one of our 5 senses. So I want you to think about hearing. Imagine that you don't hear anything, or you hear only at a very low volume for a week. Then you hear something at a high volume. You can really hear it. Like, it's way louder than it used to be, right? We can do the same thing to our taste buds. So if you don't eat these hyper palatable foods, which are hyper palatable foods are going to be like candy and chips and cookies and mostly processed foods, because processed foods are made by very large companies that have people on their staff called food scientists. And food scientists are chemists that are really hired to help make sure the chemistry of the food is perfect every single time you buy it. And so you know what to expect when you eat an Oreo or Chips Ahoy or a Dorito. And so the food chemist is the one that creates that. And then they create it to taste so great that it sends a hyper palatable signal to your brain. And then you're like surges of dopamine. You get so much dopamine production when you eat that food, which then creates the addiction cycle. And so you need to get off of these foods in order to be able to take control back with the type of eating. And so Palate Reset is it's a 7-day plan that I've created, and it's to help kind of get the sensitivity of your taste buds back. And so whenever I meet anyone and we're going through all this, like, what's going on in your life? And I'm just like, okay, we need to start with a palate reset. Let's get your taste buds back on track. And so we'll start there, and then we kind of keep building from there. I'll end up seeing them again. They're like, it's going great, this is what happened, or it's going terrible, this is what happened. And from there, we continue to build what's going to be fitting for their lifestyle. And so that's how I run into the situations. It's really cool.
So I'll get started on February 31st.
Right.
So 7 days, Jewel, that's all. So for everyone, I mean, across the board, 7 days is really enough time for your.
Mm-hmm. I haven't ran into anyone that said like that did nothing for me. Like,
you haven't ran into me.
I'm not gonna challenge you. I'm gonna be like,
Just kidding.
I'm coming back on, and I want to basically just do a session for you.
Here
we'll call the producer.
So this is what I'm hearing. Instead of a full Kit Kat bar, I can go half Kit Kat bar. And instead of a full glass of sweet tea, I can go with a half glass of sweet tea. See, I'm just cutting out half. See, I'm good with that.
We could do that route. We could, but I think for better results, you need to cut it out. But what's interesting with Palate Reset, you will really find this funny. And I'm not trying to just be like, let me talk about my plan. That's not it.
No. We want you to talk about your plan.
No, please talk about it. I'm just here to interrupt.
But during the plan, you can have one food that's not on the food list. So the food list is going to be like protein, vegetables, fruit. It's very whole foods, no grains. Okay, you can have dairy though. And so, but you can pick one food or drink that's not on this food list that you keep in your plan and make it part of your food list the whole time. And that's to help you not feel deprived. And so most ladies pick wine. And I would say, and then I have a lot of people that pick chips or popcorn or something like that, and they have it the whole week, and they don't feel super deprived, and they still feel like they can taste food differently. So it's pretty cool. Pickles are actually on the plan.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I needed to hear.
It was made for me, and you have best made pickles, which are the best ones.
I'll tell you the story about that on the after show, Jewel, so you can hear my testimony. So you can hear my testimony. Wow.
So,
okay.
anyway.
I'm sorry. So real quick, I gotta admit, I'm challenged, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited. I might try to do this whole palate reset thing. If all it is just getting rid of sugar for a week, which I know it's no easy feat. I say low sugar to no sugar and high protein. That's the kind of food that I try to eat on. So on my plates, you'll see high proteins, low carbs.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you would do great with this plan. You would love it.
I don't think so, but I'm gonna try it. I ain't gonna lie.
It's hard,
but
worth it. It's worth it. You feel so much better. You just don't have, like, we're talking about inflammation. Your inflammation goes down. And sometimes you don't even know that you are having inflammation. Like, you are living your every single day life, feeling normal, and then you go and take out these foods out of your diet, and then you're like, oh my God, I feel so great. And you're like, what was I doing before? I was not feeling well that whole time.
Is that how you felt, Sandy?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was crazy. So, like 2 weeks after this, I was telling Eric, I'm like, because we've been on this for a year already, over a year. And I was like, I don't know if there's such a thing as fog. I said, but I can see clearly now. Like, I seriously felt like I could see clearly, completely. And then I had suffered from every day I had a headache. Every single day of my life, I had a headache. And it was one of those things where I'm like, I am that mom where I come home and I'm going to go lay down because I have a headache. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't ever get a headache now, but I don't get them every day like I used to.
Not like you used to.
No. And I've got energy naturally. There's some days where I'm like, I'm going to be lazy. But for the most part, I mean, I've got enough energy to where I can, make dinner, do something, come back, clean my house, and then, be ready to go to bed. But yeah, I mean, you totally do feel like a different person. And like I told you, I didn't know that we were going to lose any weight with this. We just knew that we were helping my kid, and we lost so much weight. And then, I mean, immediately you could tell the inflammation had gone down, though we didn't know we were inflamed. You could feel it for sure.
Yeah, you don't look a day over the day I first met you, Sandy.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. It's working good. Jewel, so there's got to be a support system for this, right? Because I think one of the challenges I face sometimes is when I have to do stuff on my own, or if my friends or my coworkers aren't eating the same thing, or just whatever. Like, how much of this are you supporting or helping or providing for your people?
Okay, that's such a great question. So it definitely, you need support, because we are, like we were talking about earlier, food comes into play. I mean, it's something we have to do. We can't just not eat. People that struggle with smoking or drinking or whatever, they can choose just not to do that, but we have to eat. And so making the right choice is very difficult all day long, when we have to make good choices all day long. Like, someone cuts you off and you really just want to flip them off, but you're like, no, that's not a good choice, so I'm not going to do it. By the end of the day, we're just so tired of making good choices that we want to just be like, whatever about our food. So having accountability is on another level, like crazy good for this type of situation. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the people that you saw on my website, I would see them every week to every other week for their accountability. And they would come in to see me or meet me online, and they would weigh in, and then we would talk about how things are going, what their barriers are, what's going well. And that accountability, that's not your family or friend, is huge. And it's because this is not something easy to do. And what's really fun is you can blame it on someone else. Like, say that you're at a family event and they're like, for me, when I started changing my diet to try and eat healthier, I was, living with my mom. And so, in our family, it's very Tex-Mex family. You eat flour tortillas at every meal. And so when I started to not eat those, it's like, me, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you?
You almost got disowned.
Yeah.
No, they almost did an intervention on her. They almost did an intervention at her. And her sister makes cakes, like really beautiful, gorgeous cakes. Like, wow. And so,
and in the Hispanic culture, and I'm sure all cultures really, but I feel like it's very heavy in Hispanic culture. If you don't eat what someone made, it is the biggest sign of disrespect.
I remember when my father-in-law came to Texas, and my father asked him, can we get you something to eat? And he was like, no, that's okay. And then my dad was like, you want some ribs? And he was like, no, that's okay. He goes, you want some brisket? And he was like, no, I'm okay. And he was my dad was just like, I don't understand. What
do you want then?
So I stood there just looking. I was like, this is so funny to me right now.
I mean, it's so crazy. That's how it is. And so just imagine that happening in your life, and you're like, no, I just saw this nutritionist, and I'm like really trying to stay focused. what's great about having a nutritionist or just an accountability person outside of your family and outside of your friend group is saying, I just told them that I'm going to do this. Like, I have an appointment next week with my doctor or my nutritionist or whatever, my coach. I can't screw this up, and it's because I told them. And that you can blame so much on your person that it's not awkward at family stuff at all. So anyway,
you're so nice about that, Jewel. You're so nice about that. You let people use you as their scapegoat.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
I tell people.
I'm always okay with that. Because my default, I'd be like, I want to live. You can die if you want to, but I'm trying to live. My family would not like that.
So, accountability is huge. Having someone to turn your homework into is what I say, because we are brought up throughout our lives going to school, right? We go into kindergarten and then we're in school forever, basically, what it feels like. So we're taught and trained to do things we don't want to do, but do it with a teacher. If you were in first grade and it was just kind of like, get your schoolwork done whenever, you probably wouldn't get it done just by yourself. You have a teacher saying you need to get it done by this date. And so as adults, it's no different when it comes to things that are hard that we don't really want to do. And so we need a teacher, or we need a coach, or we need something like that. Some people may not need it for nutrition or physical activity, but they may need it with finances. There's financial coaches. There are mental health coaches. There's, even like spiritual, in the sense of like going to see your pastor or whatever. We have coaches in a lot of fields, and sometimes people get down on themselves and they're like, why can't I do well with nutrition? But really, they probably just need a teacher, because it's not easy. And so whenever you get a teacher, then you're able to do better with it. You have that accountability. And then there also is community accountability. So I started a group nutrition, like online group, almost kind of like this. It's a Zoom call with whoever wants to join in. And I coach everyone live twice a week. And I just go through the list and ask everyone how their progress is going this week. And that is such a huge accountability, because they're having to show up and talk about it. And so accountability makes a huge part in it. If I gave you guys all the plan, palette, reset, you maybe 1 out of 3 would do it and the other would not do it. And, and so and it's like, you can want to have this health change in your life, but sometimes it's just easier if you have someone to say, I did it. Yeah. Give me a pat back. I did it. And it works. And so that's kind of how it goes with accountability.
So Linda, thank you for being so open, Linda. She is saying, I am on the go every day, all day long. I eat out all the time because I am not home. It's hard for me to eat healthy. I think a lot of us can relate with you, Linda. I think that's a lot of us who are feeling that same situation.
Mine reads a little differently. I am lazy every day and I eat out all the time because don't want to be home.
So if you haven't realized, Joe is your antithesis, okay?
Right, exactly.
I'm starting to catch this vibe that he's like, no, I'm done with this.
He's got a smile on right now, but behind he's like, why did we invite her on? No,
do we really need a nutritionist on? Really, y'all?
Yes, Joe, we do.
Okay,
yes.
Well, Linda, I love that you said that, because that's just so real. That's real life. That's what a lot of people are struggling with besides Joe. And and I'm just so happy. I mean, I hope it feels good to just put that out there and say it out loud, because you're speaking for so many people, and being the brave one to say it. And so when it comes to being so busy all day long and on the go, and it's hard to eat healthy, that word healthy is so funny, because there are so many ways to eat healthy. And a lot of the times we think that it's got to be this perfect, like, I shop at Whole Foods and eat everything from Whole Foods life, but that's not it at all. It depends on what your health goal is. So let's say that your health goal is weight loss. Well, I could give you a plan where you could lose weight off of fast food every single day. The first guy that you saw in the pictures from my website, he eats fast food for almost every meal, and he's lost like 95 pounds.
Oh, wow.
The first guy? Hold on, I want to show you.
Yeah, the first guy.
This guy right here on Dustin?
Yeah, that's him. Dustin, yeah. Oh, I wish he knew he was getting a shout out because he's so great.
Look, you're going to come back and you're going to rewatch this because Jill's going to tell you, man, you look awesome. You did great, dude. Like, keep it up and make sure you're just preaching the word about what you've done. And you, my man, are amazing, okay? So.
Oh.
What Jamie said, Dustin.
Yeah, ditto.
And don't ever feel guilty about looking and feeling good either, man. So you own it. Don't put yourself down. You worked hard. You busted your butt, man, and you look great. So awesome.
Oh yeah, he looks so awesome. And yes, Dustin, he is so cool, and he's always telling. I have a closed Facebook group for my nutrition, stuff that I do, and he's always like, "I ate Whataburger again," and so. He's lost a lot of weight eating Whataburger, and it's so funny.
You said the buzzword, Jewel, for Joe. Whataburger. So I love Whataburger just the same as Joe, maybe better, except the only difference is it's around every corner for him, and it's 500 miles away from me.
Shut
up, dude. Yeah.
So it depends on what health means to you. Like, what is your health goal? For him, his health goal was to lose weight. And he needed to lose weight for all kinds of medical conditions, right? Like if you struggle with your weight, your general health and lifespan is at risk. So we focused on, making sure his carbohydrates are low enough so that he can lose weight. And so you can do that at any fast food restaurant. So it doesn't have to be some perfect, like I eat chicken and broccoli all day long scenario. So it really depends on what your health goal is. Like, for example, Sandy's family, you're going to want to be able to find the places that don't have gluten, that don't have dairy, that don't have a high sugar menu. And that's something that you just have to look for, but you can find it on the go. And it's just figuring out what health means to you. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what is my health goal? There's the health goal of losing weight. There's the health goal of cholesterol levels. There's a health goal of glucose levels. There's the health goal of wanting to be more active with your kids. There's all kinds of ways to decide what your health goal is. And so, even like just having a better relationship with your body can be a health goal. And there are all so you can and so it's figuring out what is your health goal, and it doesn't have to be what the internet says it should be. So think about that really hard, and think about every day when you wake up, what do you feel uncomfortable with? Is there something you're feeling uncomfortable with when it comes to your physical health? Which is kind of definitely get into that because the physical health is the way you move every day, the way that you interact with people, the way that you think. All kinds of things comes into your physical health. And so when you really think about it, what your health goal is, think about as you move through your day-to-day life, what are some things that are bothering you? If it's getting in and out of the car, like that may be something that is just such a struggle and it's annoying and you're tired of the way you have to get in and out of a car, then your goal is going to be weight loss mostly, or even flexibility. And you need to work on being more flexible and more active. So I would say just kind of think about that, and then we can figure out how to make a plan that fits that health goal.
You know what I like about that is that it sounds like obviously there's going to be work in that, but what's good is that, Linda, and everyone, we always want to know what we want to do, what we can do better to be better. But I think behind what you're saying, Jewel, is kind of like, it makes me feel like, I've actually got to put an active thought behind what I want, because if I'm just coming to you saying, hey, look at me, what do I need to do to be better, feel better, et cetera, for those, it's kind of like that. It's an open-ended question. It's like, you need to tell me what your goal is, and then I can help you reach that goal. But if you don't have a goal, I need your skin in the game first before I can help you out.
And you have to have a why. Okay. And for us, our why was our kid. because it wasn't going to be for us. I mean, sure, I felt uncomfortable that my fat was hanging out of my bra strap under here. That was very uncomfortable, but I'm like, I didn't have a plan for it. So it became, my son became my why. And so I think you have to mentally, before anything, you have to be mentally prepared for that. Because if you don't fix it up here, you're never going to fix it, whatever it is that you're putting in your mouth. And I'm a firm believer, because that's something that we had to do, because I mean, man, do I miss Chick-fil-A? I do miss Chick-fil-A. And do I miss, everybody's like, we're going to have this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have this. But again, my why is my kid. So.
And Sandy, I've talked to you about that before, about like, is this something that continues whenever, the kids grow up and move on out, kind of thing?
I think so, because the thing is because of the way I feel now, I want to continue to feel that. I mean, I know eventually I'm going to be a grandparent, and I still want to have the same energy. Like I'm saying, like 5 years from now, I ain't trying to be a grandma right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm
that's
pointing at the kids right now. I'm pointing at your kids.
Yeah. I still want to be around. I mean, I want to be healthy. I want to be able to have those moments where, man, and I still want to be the grandma that can run a half marathon, a marathon, I have goals still. So
Jewel, I know we're getting close to that end time, but before we do that, I do want to ask you, can you just tell us a little bit about you as far as like the business side? So people, since I'm up in here in Illinois, and then Joe and Sandy are in Lubbock, you are in?
I'm in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. So we could reach out to you and partake through Zoom meetings and stuff. So we don't need to be in Fort Worth to look you up and get help, but kind of walk us through how the timeline of meeting up with you, what we do when we do, how much it costs. You know what I mean? Can you kind of give us some sort of timeline of your business, I guess, really?
Yes. Okay. So, depending on what your goals are, it depends on the goal, but like I have a lot of people that struggle with irritable bowel syndrome, so they have a little bit more visits than, someone else. And so I would say that I usually I can build a nutrition, like a lifestyle nutrition change in 3 sessions. And so the first session is an hour, and it's about, it's $99. And then all the follow-up sessions are $49. And those are like 30 to 40 minutes. And what we'll do in that session, the first session, we're going to go over your health goal. We're going to discuss most of the time I'm meeting people that are for weight loss. And so say it is weight loss, then we'll discuss, what their barriers with it is. And barriers, like say it's IBS or celiac disease or inflammation, what are the barriers that you're struggling with those things? So we'll discuss all of those parts of it. So, like it's for inflammation, it could be for focus at school or different things like that. And so in that, we'll discuss, oh my God, hold on. My computer, we got to wrap it up because my computer battery is going to have to go. Oh my God.
All right. So then we'll do the last 2 things. We want to give you a second just to plug whatever it is you want to plug, and then we're going to ask you a question after that.
Okay. So I want to just tell everyone that I want you to think about what your health goal is and figure out what is realistic for you to accomplish. So sometimes it can go into, I just want to go on a liquid diet because I know that'll work. I want you to think about what's going to last always, and what is something you can see yourself doing every day of your life, even through the holidays. And figure out how can you find a way to accomplish that. When I was going through my nutrition change, it was because I was wanting to lose weight myself. And so I needed to lose weight, but I wanted to be a chef before a nutritionist. So I wasn't about to just give up food. And so we got to figure out a way to make it a lifestyle change. And so that's what I do. So I'm really happy to talk to you guys about it today. And then, if you want to talk to me, we can definitely set up a Zoom call, and you can just go to my website and set it up.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And our last question is going to be, we always ask a guest to give us a topic for a future episode. So with that in mind, do you have a topic that you'd like the 3 of us to cover for a future episode?
Okay, yes, I do. And I hope that this is something that's not too challenging, but I think the world needs you to cover sleep.
Oh,
Joe is
I'm-
not
I'm-
covered.
I'm there.
a professional. Wow.
We gotta find that. That's definitely. I'm cool with
He
that.
loves your Jill. He did a great. That was. So
Yeah,
let's see if we can fit this question in because it's one of our viewers who did have a question, and let's see if your laptop will help us too. Mark is asking, great guest. Any thoughts around healthy juicing daily or weekly?
Yeah, I think juicing is awesome. It could give your GI tract a break from digesting food, which is really good. And I think that if you're trying to juice, I would start with doing 1 day of juicing and then regular, a diet that hopefully is more whole foods driven because that would make it easier for your GI tract. And then trying to push it to maybe achieving 2 days a week where you just do juicing 2 days a week. That would be sustainable. And what I would do is like Monday and Tuesday juice, and then the rest of the week just do a whole foods type diet, which would be just no processed food, no middle of the grocery store. And then the weekend, just allow yourself to kind of just be natural about what you want to eat, but then go right back to juicing the first 2 days of the week. And that'll really help reset yourself from the weekend and manage your weight and everything, your cholesterol levels, your glucose levels. So juicing is awesome. And I definitely think it's a good thing to do. And, it's just one of those things where everyone's different with it. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, Joel.
Joel, so we're going to go ahead and see you go. If you want to come back on for our after show, just get on your phone if your laptop dies out and we can have a little chat after there. Okay. But
Okay, sounds good.
I appreciate you coming on. Love you
you, Joel.
dearly. You did great. And
You did awesome.
guys, we're going to make sure to put your business in the comments. So anyone who's interested, you'll find her on there and reach out to her. Okay. All right. Joel, we'll talk to you in a little while.
Bye, Joel.
Thank you so much.
I'll go get on my phone here in a minute.
Okay. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, so that's something we need to add to the the checklist for our guest.
Yeah, full battery.
Full battery. Make sure you have it plugged
First
in.
That's never happened. That's right. Good
Yeah,
point, Joe.
because we usually forget about that.
Yeah, that's the simple stuff, right? We're worried about all the makeup and
Lighting and connection, and then the battery dies.
Well, you look good before it died.
Right? Yeah, that's great. Man, she is awesome, Jamie. I loved her energy. She was really fun.
and
She
I've
probably
seen her-
hates me. Just gonna be out.
It's hard to hate you.
You would probably be the one client she would fire.
Yeah. I would come to the Zoom meetings eating Kit Kats.
Yeah, you
Yep.
would. Everyone would be looking, be like,
Who's this guy? They'd be like, "Why are you here?" I was like, "Why are you here? You don't worry about your health,
You're
my
so
health goal.
bad.
You do
You're so
your
bad.
health goal."
My name is Temptation. What is it?
Right, exactly. You're just mad because I'm eating a Kit Kat and you can't.
he's like,
You-
I'm the missing temptation.
You put popcorn on yours. I put Kit Kats on my list.
On your list. Yeah, I've seen her posts for years, and I can, before I even ask her on the show, like I just knew she was always enthusiastic about wellness, and she's super passionate about it. She's just super passionate.
Yeah, and I
So-
don't want to be too nerdy, but I had so many other questions too that I wanted to ask.
Well,
Yeah.
the good thing about being the host is we get to spend some extra time in the after show, and we can ask her those things, Sandy. So
I know how cool.
That's right. That's right, y'all.
that's how we do.
That's how we roll. We don't ask the good questions
Oh.
during the show. We ask them afterwards.
I think that was for you.
I think that was for me.
But so he's gonna check her website out. Okay, cool. So I appreciate you guys. I'm glad for y'all hanging around and stuff.
Make sure you plug Dr. Pineapples again.
Yeah. So remember, email Dr. Pineapples is taking your relationship questions. It could be any relationship question you have between you and a special someone, you and your child, a parent, a coworker, even whatever the case is. You email the Social Undistancing Show at gmail.com with your relationship question. Make sure in the subject you put Dr. Pineapples. And this Friday, she is going to answer your question. She's not just going to give you her opinion and her advice on it. She's actually going to take your question and go to the books and look up some stuff that pertains to your question and make sure she gives you an excellently prepared response.
Excellently.
Okay.
A well-prepared response. Professionally prepared.
Oh my god.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood?
Everyone was fine. So yeah, please make sure you email the social undistancing show at gmail.com. Your comment or your subject should be Dr. Pineapples, and then your relationship question, and we'll make sure to get it answered. Now, the only way you'll find out if you're getting it answered is to show up back in the show on Friday, and that'll be the first thing we do in the show is for her to give the response to the question. Okay. After that, we've actually got an exciting guest tomorrow, Joe, right?
Yes.
Which is
the president of the West Texas Roller Derby Association, and her name is Jamie. Come on.
Oh, Jamie. Me? I thought you were looking it up, so I was like, give me her name.
Have it, sorry, I was trying to.
You know, I keep.
Her name is Shanoy Anderson.
No, her name is Dr. Shanoy.
Dr. Shanoy Anderson.
Man,
I've watched a couple of shows on roller derby, so I'm like pumped to ask those questions and just throw out some terminology. It's gonna be sweet. Oh
my god!
And then
and I'm working on my Jamaican accent. So,
oh
Jamaica, on.
And then Thursday we have a very special mystery music guest that's going to be joining us. So come back for that because you're gonna get a kick out of it. I promise y'all.
We all are.
Yeah, we all are because
as soon as I figure out who it is, y'all are gonna get it.
Telling us anything.
And then return Friday for our Feel Good Friday show, okay? Hey, if you guys have any feel good stories out there that you want to hit us and highlight for Friday, throw them in the comments, put them up on the Facebook page, and let us know too, okay?
Yep.
What about some of us that don't have any feel good that just watch crime shows?
Tell us about the ones where they didn't get away.
Those make us feel good.
Yeah. Okay. So as usual, everyone,
remember to wash your hands
for at least 20 seconds.
Yeah, filthy animals.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a Kit Kat for me.
Kit Kat and a Whataburger. What do you want?
And a Whataburger.
What number?
I usually get the double meat, double cheese, grilled onions, honey barbecue sauce, large fries, and a Diet Coke. Just kidding.
Oh my.
You know,
perfect.
It's funny because I used to be able to get number twos all the time, but I got to be honest, I've been doing